Come in, please. The Saunders Crockett Agency has been placing domestics in Beverly Hills homes for 25 years. We have quite the tradition. May I ask who recommended us?
Oh, John Wilson.
Oh, is that the department store Wilson or the polo-playing Wilson?
The elevator starter, Wilson. Down in the lobby. You see, I have a law office in this building.
Oh, well, do you know Collins, Martin, and Richardson?
Is that the law firm or the Yankee infield?
The elevator starter, Wilson. Well, you see, Mr. Gregg, we're very careful about the domestics we place and the homes in which we place them.
I assure you that we'll do nothing to let the Saunders Crockett flag drag in the dust.
Well, I think possibly the elevator starter, Wilson?
He might have a string of polo ponies on the side.
Miss Kelly, I still say this is no good. Your Uncle Bentley tells us to be real nice to Housekeeper agency sent out.
Oh, Peter. We are going to be nice to her. We're just going to give her a warm welcome.
I think this welcome is more warmer than she expects.
Oh, Peter. Hello. You must be Mrs. Barker. I'm Kelly Gregg, and this is Peter.
How do you do?
Please come in, Mrs. Barker.
Yes.
May I take your bag? We have your room all ready. By the way, do you like lizards?
Lizards?
No, Miss Kelly. I moved lizards into guest room.
Oh.
Snakes are now in Mrs. Barker's room.
Peter, she left.
That's gratitude. After we borrow all these pets to make her feel at home.
Wait a minute, Mr. Saunders. What was Mrs. Barker doing at the zoo? My house. No, all I have is somebody else's dog and an etching of a covey of quail. Oh, I see. I think that Mrs. Barker has met with some organized resistance in my household. If you send someone else out, Mr. Saunders, I assure you there'll be no more trouble. Please, Mr. Saunders, I can give you some very important people as references. If you call, for example, Carl Hickey. Oh, Miss Farrell, all unpacked?
Yes.
How'd you like your room?
Oh, it's a lovely little room and so nicely furnished. I'll change it when I get time.
Well, this is your home now. We want you to be comfortable here, as comfortable as you were with the Dunnocks.
Oh, I think I will. Mr. Saunders told me the head of the Bar Association personally vouched for you.
Yes, I had to get the mayor, too.
Oh, did I tell you I worked for the Dunnocks for 23 years?
Yes, I believe you did mention it.
I came to work for them when Carolyn was just 3 months old. I stayed until Carolyn got married 4 months ago. Oh, did I show you a picture of Carolyn?
Yes, I think you did. Lovely girl.
She was the best behaved child in Beverly Hills. I knew them all. Oh, Carolyn married Frank. He's a geologist.
Oh.
Uncle Bentley, did I show you the wonderful pet Nancy gave me?
Oh, what a darling little duck. I just love pets. Carolyn used to keep white mice. Well, now, Kelly, why don't we hang up our clothes, tidy up our room, and then we'll keep it that way. Dear? You know, Carolyn won the neatest bunk in summer camp 3 years running. Come along, dear.
Kelly, I want you and Mrs. Farrell to be good friends. The next 23 years will be a lot easier that way.
Mr. Gray, I want you to know I enjoy working for you for the past 8 years. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Peter. Just leave a note for the milkman.
Any money you owe me, send to the Seamen's Fund. No use pleading. I'll show you picture new employer. Maybe you're so choked up you can't talk? Tell you what, I stay a few days till you find someone else. Hate to see old employer break down like this.
Peter, what are you doing with those bags?
That's a question you're supposed to ask on way out.
Oh, Peter, Kelly needs Mrs. Farrell. And I've got to show some progress when I see her principal on Monday. So Mrs. Farrell stays here as long as she's needed.
She in last place 23 years. In 23 years, niece Kelly be 36. You be 59. I'd be hot.
Operators are on duty to send you free information by return mail. Call now, 1-800-247-7900.
Weekdays. Take one nuclear family and get ready for the explosion of laughs.
What's come over this family anyway?
It's classic TV comedy. Father Knows Best.
Oh, what a wacky family.
Weekdays at 3 Eastern.
Here he comes. Hi, Uncle Bentley.
Hi, honey.
Hello, Mr. Gray.
Uncle Bentley, you were right. Mrs. Farrell is a doll.
Oh, yeah. She wonderful woman. She most wonderful woman I ever met.
Well, I'm happy to see that you two have adjusted so quickly. Though I'd be happier if you two weren't so happy.
Don't know how we got along without her all these years.
Mrs. Farrell explained the importance of proper nutrition. And starting tonight, I'm eating spinach regularly.
See, I told you she'd be good for you.
She most remarkable woman in world. I give all back wages to start statue for her.
But you were supporting the Seamen's Fund.
Dinner's nearly ready. Kelly, you go help Peter bring the dishes to the table. Carol is his mother's helper.
Mrs. Farrell, I must compliment you. How did you convince her she ought to eat spinach?
It's an old method I've always found effective. Children's eating habits are governed by their parents.
Yeah. Boy, I'm really starved. Liver? Squash? Turnip? What is this, Peter? Revenge? That's everything I hate.
If the parent makes an effort to eat the things he doesn't care for, the child will follow his example.
Yes, but liver? Squash? Turnips?
Right up to the time Carolyn got married, I had Mr. Dunnick eating chicken livers and kidneys, even though he hated them.
Oh, I hope Kelly marries very early. Well, what do you know? Almost 9:30.
Oh, my goodness. Why don't you trot off to bed? I'll lock up.
Well, I have a friend coming. Young lady, we're going to listen to some records. We'll be very quiet.
Well, I think it's wonderful having friends come to the house rather... A young lady? When are you getting married?
We haven't set the date as yet.
Well, I know you don't want an old lady sitting around knitting while you're entertaining. So I'll just put this away.
Patricia, how pretty you look.
Hello, Bentley. Forgive the casual look. It took me 2 hours to achieve it.
Miss Farrell, this is Patricia Robbins. Mrs. Farrell, Pat.
You don't have to introduce me to this child. Little Patty Robbins.
Mrs. Farrell, how are you?
Oh, you two know each other?
Know her. Patty of the long blonde curls, the knock knees, and the lisp. Oh, my, how you've grown.
Yeah, she's come a long way.
And father, dear?
Oh, wonderful, thank you. They've been out of town. I'd like Bentley to meet them.
Oh, there'll be plenty of time before your wedding. Tell me, dear, did your mother's sister Adele ever marry that man from Bakersfield with a mustache?
The mustache?
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Dudley. Oh, yes. They have 3 children.
No.
2 boys and a girl.
All with mustaches.
Gosh, you have a phenomenal memory, Mrs. Farrell.
Oh, I remember every family on the block, and I know just what happened to all of them. Now, on the corner were the Stearns. They had 3 children, Maury, Harvey, and Kitty. Kitty married, and the first time Carolyn brought Frank to the house, I said, honey, this is the boy for you. 6 months later, they were married. Over Mr. Dunnick's protest.
I must call Carolyn.
Well, they're still in Europe. Oh, heavens, it's 11 o'clock. How I've been talking. Oh, this couldn't have been much fun for Mr. Gregg.
Bentley? Bentley?
I heard every word through Harvey Stern's bar mitzvah.
Excuse me, dear. I really must run off to bed. Give my love to your parents.
Thank you, I will.
Good night. Little Patty. Mr. Gregg, the last time I saw Patty was her 9th birthday, with the blonde curls, the midi blouse, and the lisp. She was the cutest child you've ever seen. Oh, my.
Bentley? Stop standing. Come here and sit by me.
Come on, little Patty. I'd better take you home.
Mrs. Farrell always on ball. She got niece Kelly waiting outside for bus 15 minutes early.
I know. There should be a statue of her in every park.
She good for Kelly. Of course, you eat liver next 4 years. She not permit you to watch fight on television. I watch in my room. I tell you how they come out.
Peter, she's going to stay. She's a wonderful woman.
Oh, you bet. Little Patricia like her, too. Mrs. Farrell know every girl you know in Beverly Hills. Little Lucy, little Wendy.
You were listening last night.
Oh, no, I go to sleep when you do. Harvey Stern bar mitzvah.
You two are waiting like vultures for me to crack. Well, this woman is good for Kelly, and no matter how she affects my life, she's going to stay. Oh, Peter, the boys are coming over to play poker tonight. Would you set up the table and make sure there's plenty of beer on ice?
You play poker in front of Mrs. Farrell? Or you want me to fix up garage?
Why don't you go get your bags and try that death of a salesman routine again? This time I promise not to plead.
Call now, 1-800-356-2800. Use your MasterCard, Visa, or American Express and save the COD fees. That's 1-800-356-2800.
Get the small talk. I'm $40 in the hole from last week.
Gripe. Here's a guy who cries as he's raking in the dough. Where's the beer?
Hey, Red, how'd you get away from Florence tonight?
You kidding? I just made an announcement. I was going to play poker, and if she didn't like it, tough.
Where was Florence when you made the announcement?
She's in Palm Springs with her mother.
Hey, 1 o'clock time limit tonight. Agreed?
Yeah, only if I'm ahead. I stayed until 6 o'clock last week to get you even.
We got Marty even. Tonight, let's get me even. You fellas got all my money, and I'm not drawing any interest.
You're beefing. Hope this game has a pension plan. I'll need it when I retire.
Hey, fellas, Let's start out by playing for matches, huh? I hired a housekeeper for Kelly, and she's against gambling, and I want to keep her. So, until she goes to sleep, matches, huh?
Matches? Have to win $150 million to get even.
Gentlemen, this is Mrs. Farrell.
Oh, I'm so glad to meet Mr. Gregg's playmates. Please go on with your game.
Oh, fine. If I lose, I can burn the house down.
Have you gentlemen met Mr. Gregg's fiancée?
No, my fiancée, don't you? Patricia Robbins?
Oh, yeah. A very beautiful tomato. A very nice girl. Yeah, I'm going to be best man.
Oh, you promised me.
I want to be flower girl.
I'll venture 2 matches.
I'll call, and I'll raise you 1/2 match.
I'll drop. I lost 40 matches on a horse this afternoon.
I'll call. What do you got?
3 kings.
Oh, shucks, and I had 3 queens.
Bentley, do 5 of the same suit count for anything?
It's only a coincidence, Cecil.
My, this is exciting. Would you boys mind if I took a hand?
9:15. I'd better quit. These games are getting later and later.
Yeah, later and later. I got to run, too. Oh, did I tell you my wife's in the hospital?
Oh, what's the matter?
I forget. I think she's having a baby.
Yeah, I'd better go home and give my canary his 10 o'clock feeding, or he just won't sing the next day. And thank you for a lovely evening.
Oh, won't you take some cookies home with you?
Why don't you stuff some lemonade in the other pocket?
My, what a nice group of boys. But that one man, he said he thought his wife was having a baby. Wasn't he sure?
Oh, they're very happily married couple. She's always playing surprises on him. Mrs. Carter? I'm Bentley Gregg.
Oh, yes, Mr. Gregg. Please sit down.
Thank you. I think I know why you asked me here today.
Oh, we make it a policy to ask each parent to come in for a little talk at least once a semester.
I appreciate your tact. But whatever Kelly's failings have been in the past, I think now we're on the right track.
In the last 3 or 4 days, there's been a change. Suddenly, Kelly seems disturbed. Has anything happened in the home to cause her to feel emotionally upset? Is something wrong, Mr. Gregg?
You see, Mrs. Carter, I'm a bachelor, and I wanted Kelly to have the feminine supervision I thought she needed, so I hired a housekeeper. Mrs. Carter, I faced 23...
Discover America on American Snapshots, Wednesday night at 10:30 Eastern on CBN.
Now, Kelly, be a good little girl and remember all the things I've told
What's the matter? Where are you going?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Gregg. I'm leaving.
Leaving?
I've been happy here, but Carolyn needs me.
Mrs. Farrell, we need you, too. Where can I drive you?
Carolyn's having a baby.
A little baby. A gift from heaven.
That's your cat, Mrs. Farrell.
I'm sorry if I've inconvenienced you, Mr. Gregg. I've been happy here. You know, the strangest thing happened when I called Mr. Saunders to tell him I was leaving. I heard a scream, and then a body fall.
Oh, I wouldn't worry. He's very emotional.
Goodbye, Kelly, dear. Oh, I'm going to miss you.
All right, young lady. We'll try it without a housekeeper. But you're going to get to school on time, and you're going to eat properly. So your principal, Mrs. Carter, today, said some very nice things about you. I'm proud of you.
Nice lady. She great help in kitchen.
And I was beginning to like spinach.
What are we going to do without her, Mr. Gregg?
Well, tonight I'm going to play poker, and tomorrow night I'll have a date with my ex-fiancée, and the night after that I'll play poker again. I'm going to miss her more than either of you.
Coming up, Eddie Albert and Eva Gabor in Green Acres.
And tonight at 9 Eastern, it's the exciting News 700 Club here on CBN.